Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Kodash. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hope for the elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, in all truth and sincerity, Salakia, throughout the four corners of the globe. Alright, so I just want to do a short lesson of how alone the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video, The People in Europe Want Out of the Beast. Alright, or whatever title Yahweh Shai sees fit I use. But Lord Woods, brothers can see on the screen, I have this article here from the Zero Hedge, and it says, let's get out of NATO. This content soars, this content soars across Europe as Russian sanctions backfire. All right, I'm gonna read some of this article. It says Western sanctions against Russia have been considered a powerful foreign policy tool by the U.S. and EU to paralyze Moscow back to the Stone Ages. Those sanctions across Moscow have entirely backfired, sparking the worst cost of living crisis for Europeans in a generation. In early September, we first noticed a wave of discontent sweeping across Europe as tens of thousands of people took to the city streets to protest soaring electric bills and worse inflation in decades. Some countries delivered relief packages to citizens to tame their anger, while other countries did not have the financial I thought it froze up on me. Capacity, saying that word, to hand out checks. Tens of thousands of people have marched across metro areas in France, Belgium, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Germany. Many of them are fed up with sanctions on Russia that have sparked economy ruins for many households and businesses. But also very surprising support for NATO's involvement in Ukraine is wanting. Right, so this thing is completely and utterly backfired for Europe and Babylon, which is America, to stop buying Russia's oil and all of that, natural gas and all of that. Is backfiring. And people have been talking about all since this whole thing went down in February that how this is going to affect the people in Europe and eventually the people here in America too. Well, America too, they're saying they only got 25 days worth of diesel left, and they said the people in Europe are going to freeze because they're not purchasing Russian natural gas anymore. And where are they going to get it from? All right, them OPEC nations like Saudi Arabia and them, they're pretty much on Russia's side. All right, and they just agreed to cut cut production by 2 million barrels a day. So I posted a video before, Operation Sandman. All right, where are they going to get their gas from? That's why Biden, a lot of the reserves that they had, that Babylon has, he shipped it to Europe. They're try to counteract what Putin was doing. All right, but Babylon, they're going to have enough for Europe and Babylon. The answer to that look like is no. There have been increasingly awareness and dissent among Europeans, among their countries' leaders. NATO ambitions in Ukraine over their own citizens, prioritizing the Slovakia has been informed for sanctions against Moscow, sparking energy hyperinflation and supplying weapons to Ukraine, which has made Moscow displeased with any country that does so. Some Europeans are now demanding NATO negotiation with Moscow to end the war so the economy turmoil can abate. Here are the latest protests across Europe of tens of thousands of people, if not more, frustrated with high inflation and crying out anti-NATO slogans. I don't speak French, so I can't read that. Another massive protest against NATO and EU on the streets of Paris, France today. Another massive # protest against NATO and EU on the streets of Paris, France today. Pretending it didn't happen. Where's what I was looking for? Mass protests continue in Moldova, calling for the removal of the pro-EU regime of Maya Sendu, if I pronounced that right. The Western media has completely backed out of these massive protests in Moldovu, if I pronounced that right again. They are propelling that the CIA nonsense, instead blaming Russia for this. Okay, here's what I'm looking for. On October 28th, local times, people took to the streets to protest and demonstrate, advocating to withdraw from European Union, from the European, which is a part of the beast, which the beast is NATO and the EU. And NATO, #NATO, Russia is not our enemy. The Belarusian Czech government is slogan. Is their slogan, I'm guessing. Right, so again, it says on October 28th, local time, Czech people, Slovakia, people took to the streets to protest and demonstrate, advocating to withdraw from the European Union and NATO. Right, so the people this is the beginning phases of the beast hating the whore, because eventually we all know what's going to happen. So the people are asking, basically, again, like the article said, let's get out of NATO. Discontent soars across Europe as Russian sanctions backfire. So the people in them different NATO and EU countries are asking, telling the government to get out of NATO. Let's leave NATO. All right, which ultimately, is gonna. We all know that the beast shall hate the whore and make her desolate, and this could be the reason. At the end of the, just speaking as a man, they might give in. European, NATO and European Union countries might give in. Russia and China, and them OPEC nations, and completely, utterly cut ties with America. All right, and that, as a man, the main thing that you know that kicks things off. All right, and then like the prophecy say, the beast shall hate the whore and make her desolate. This could be the beginning phases of it. The people went out of NATO, and then ultimately we know, according to the prophecies, that NATO and the EU, which is the beast, is going to turn on America anyway and destroy it. All right, so this is prophecy. Well, the beginning phases of prophecy being fulfilled. The people in them countries went out of NATO, and we all know the scriptures say they should not regard, like it says in 2 Corinthians 15th chapter, they should not regard their kings nor princes. So they could try to bum rush, capture them, and force them. Again, I'm just speaking as a man. The scriptures again say that that's just not going to be here in America. It's going to be everywhere. Again, like I said, in 2 Corinthians 15th. Matter of fact, let me get that. Let's go ahead and read it. Yeah, man, it's going down, man. They're over there protesting, telling their leaders, let's get out of NATO, let's leave NATO. All right, in the EU. If not, we're going to freeze to death. So again, where are they going to buy their energy from? Where are they going to buy their natural gas or their resources or whatever from? All right, because again, them OPEC nations, they're pretty much tied in with Russia. Now Biden's threatening Saudi Arabia, saying that we're going to ship our weapons to Ukraine. All right, if you don't basically get back in line, and Saudi Arabia is laughing at them. Like, okay, well, whatever. We'll just do deals with Russia. So all nations are getting ready to come up against America, man, and that's prophecy. All right, but this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Verse 16. And there should be sedition among men and invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor princes. So that's not just going to be here in Babylon. That's going to be all over the world. Like in Sri Lanka. Saw what they did to their governor or their leader or whatever, their president or whatever, or chancellor or whatever they call them. All right, or king. They bum rushed his house, ran him out of his house, took over his house. That was prophecy. They should not regard the kings or the princes. These governors, these presidents, these senators. All right, that's going to be everywhere. Like those people in Europe now are taking to the streets protesting, but soon it's going to turn where they're going to bum rush those houses, their leaders' houses. All right, because the people over there are suffering, man. Energy bills out of control, and like they've been saying all year, If they don't find a way to get, I guess, more energy or whatever, more natural gas or whatever, they're gonna freeze to death. Cause their leaders have cut ties with Russia altogether to try to destroy the Russian economy, which like that article said is backfiring. All right, and they should not regard their kings nor princes in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. So again, in Europe, don't be surprised soon if you see them bum rushing their leaders' houses and trying to capture them and get them to agree to get out of NATO. All right, or to start doing business with Russia and these other nations again. All right, because the people over there, if not, they're gonna suffer. They're gonna freeze to death. It gets cold and pretty cold in Europe. All right, in the on the east side of the world. All right, and inflation is hitting there too. This whole banking system is coming to its knees, coming to the ground. All right, inflation is out of control over there as well. Gas is out of control over there as well. All right, so this is about to go down, man. All right, things are about to get a lot uglier, man. Good for us and ugly for the world. This is Daniel chapter 2. Book of Daniel chapter 2, verse 41. And where thou sawest the feet and toes in part of potter's clay and the part of iron, the kingdom should be divided. But there should be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest iron mixed with pottery clay, and the toes of the feet, which this is the part of the statue we're in right now, the toes and the feet, which is NATO and the EU, this beast system. And the toes and the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom should be partly strong and partly broken. All right, so this shit is about the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, is about to come and destroy the rest of the statue. What's left of the statue. The head is gone, the body is gone, the legs is gone. Now we're at the part of the toes, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is about to finish it off. All right? He's going to make them destroy each other. One more scripture, I'm going to close it up. It's Revelation chapter 17. Verse 16. In the ten horns was the same thing, the beast, they doing the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, shall hate the whore. What's the whore? America. All right, Babylon the Great, which is the whore, which is America, shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, so ultimately we know NATO and the EU, and different NATO and EU nations are going to turn on America and shoot missiles on it. All right, and now the people in Europe are telling the people, the leaders, that we want out of NATO. We want to get out of NATO, because if not, they're going to price us out of everything. We're going to freeze to death. We won't be able to afford anything. So now they're protesting and telling the people, telling their leaders that, look, we want out of NATO. All right. And the people obviously, they're not going to listen because they're all bought and paid for. So what's going to ultimately happen? All right. Again, 2 Corinthians 15 to 16. They should not regard their kings nor princes. They're going to run in there, bum rush them, or run them out of the country. All right. Or capture them or make them, or whatever. Basically get down with what the people want, basically. Or again, you're just speaking as a man, all right? But what could happen? They could eventually just give in and just start buying stuff from Russia again. Because if not, they're gonna freeze to death. Because America can't take care of them. All right, the Most High is bringing this place down. So how the hell are they gonna take care of a whole another 20 or so countries? All right, supply them with oil. They can't do that with natural gas. All right. So it's over for this place, man. All right, it's over for this place. So with that, I pray to listen was edifying. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Hawashai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you brothers pushing this truth and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say shalom.